Welcome to SinCityBounty.com. Oh, shit, our video feed froze. Damn it. So I am trying something new with the girls. I don't know if you can hear me. You certainly can't see me. I just noticed that our video feed cut out. Yeah, so I'm trying to fix that for you guys. Hold on a second. Hold on. Y'all can start talking if you want. We're live, FYI.
Oh, can they hear us? Can you guys hear us even though the screen is frozen?
Yeah, the audio is separate.
I'm frozen like the worst pose, too. Like I have some serious resting bitch face.
So I have it pulled up on my phone and it's still frozen. And there's a delay. So if you're going to watch yourself, Toxie, know that there's a delay. But Ilias, Christopher, Lisa are in chat with us. So hello, all of you guys.
Hello, everybody. All right, let's see if I can get this to do what it needs to do. Why does it keep doing that? Okay, here we go. Let's transition, and we should have live video feed now. Yay!
Do you want us to keep talking?
Yes, of course I want you to keep talking. We're live.
Okay.
So
there's a lot of things.
Our video is going now.
Okay. We were going to try really hard not to talk over each other. So I'm going to stop talking now for somebody else to go.
My screen is frozen on my actual computer, so I'm taking just a moment here.
We can hear you, Toxie.
Yeah, go for it, Alexia.
All right. So let's open with Mary Letourneau. Right? So there's a story that came out today that where the hell did it go? This Mary Letourneau lady just died. She in 1996 was a teacher, and she had sex with a 12-year-old and went to jail because that's rape, right?
That's anyway, what, yeah, for a student.
Yeah. So she died today from cancer, and at her funeral, the attorney for the family, I think it was the attorney for the family, I'm not sure, but he said that she was a very good woman. And of course, the only thing I have in my head is she had sex with a 12-year-old, which really bothers me. But then, I went and read a news article about her and her story and yada, 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 which didn't really change my mind. She's still a person in authority that took advantage of somebody who was 12. But did you know that she was with him for 20 years and had 2 kids by him?
Oh, I heard about that couple.
Yeah.
I think she had the second kid either when he went to visit her in prison or shortly after she got out. Like she was on probation and not supposed to see him and got pregnant a second time.
I saw a family.
Sorry, I was going to say you can't deny true love.
I guess.
You can if they're a child.
I think so, yeah. I know that the mother of the boy, a man now, filed a civil lawsuit against her. I'm trying to find the story again. It was in the Facebook news and now it's gone, but I thought I had saved it, but I guess I did not. Oh, here we go. So she was only 58. This was 1996. This wasn't that long ago.
That was almost 30 years ago.
That's not that long ago.
That's an entire grown-ass adult millennial ago.
I was like 14. Wait, what year was it?
96.
Oh no, I was older.
I was in my 20s. So do you have any, did you say you had a beef with that, Toxie?
Oh no, I just have some really strong feels about it because I don't care about the fact that, eventually she wasn't like, he was an adult, she was an adult, blah, 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 whatever. She still raped a student. Like, he was 12. It's disgusting. And I don't, cancer's horrible, absolutely horrible. And I'm not one that ever wishes anything on anyone, but I didn't drop a tear when I saw that she died. So
we have laws in place that no one is technically an adult until they're 16 or 18, depending on what state you live in, 13 for some. And then, of course, there's science that tells you your brain doesn't stop growing until you're fucking 25. So anybody who makes decisions under the age of 25, you've got to check on those decisions, right? So a 12-year-old does not have the capacity to know that if he's in love with I don't know how old she was at the time, a teacher. I mean, of course, there's the whole thing that when a young girl is dating a teacher, that's by everyone's definition, that's rape or statutory rape, right? But when a boy sleeps with his teacher, he gets shoulder punches about how cool he is because he got to do the teacher. And we totally need to change that. We totally need to change that. Yes.
Yeah, well, that goes back to the whole bullshit thing about the dichotomy of like the perception of sex between the two different genders. Like, it's cool for a dude to sleep around, hell yeah, high fives, but a girl does it and she's a fucking slut. Like, it's cool to be a man whore, but it sucks to be a slut. And
Right.
it's fucking bullshit, is what it is.
I totally
Yeah,
agree.
bullshit.
All right. So that's one thing on my
there's
list, Kara. What's next?
there's just to go back to that, there's additional laws in place, like in addition to the whole fact that it's underage, it's rape, they can't consent until they're a certain age. There's additional laws in place when it's somebody who was in a power, like in an authoritative position. So there's additional laws for teachers, and there's a reason, because it's an issue that we have, and it's an issue that for quite some time we had, even more so here in Las Vegas. There were several years there where every single year there were multiple teachers arrested for having sex with children, with students. The place where my daughter plays soccer, the previous athletic director, 2 years before she went there, was not only arrested for that, but he also had some type of ring going on where he was selling photos of teenagers, like naked teenagers, to other naked teenagers or to other teenagers.
So he was selling kitty
So
porn to kids?
yes, that's correct. Yes. Yeah. And he was the athletic director at a high school here.
So to go along with these stories, I was going to talk about the guy from the 70s show. What the fuck is his name? Masterson.
Danny Matheson.
Was just arrested a couple weeks ago, actually, or a week ago, for 3 alleged rapes that happened a while back. And then, so when I saw that story, I was reading it, and of course, there's on the sidebar, there's all these other stories. And I'm just gonna go through this short little list, okay? In the last 2 weeks, there have been sexual abuse or assault charges brought against a correctional officer, a comedian, an interior minister, a DJ, a bishop, clerics, juvenile detention staffer, senior center employee, a police officer, a porn star, a teacher, a pharmacist, an art gallery owner, and then Sierra, I thought you might want to touch on this one. On these, video gamers, a video game designer, a Call of Duty caster, which I have no idea what that is, a tournament organizer, and video game executives. There is a whole Me Too movement sweeping through the video game sector.
Well, and that's because in the video game industry, it's been so male dominated for so long, and it's been an acceptable practice to be a fucking douchebag and a male gamer. Like, there are so many people, so many women who have to, I mean, you really have to have big ass balls for a chick to be a professional gamer because you will be met with death threats, rape threats, sexual harassment the entire way you go. I talk to any female esports and she'll tell you, I can't be like I don't read comments. I don't listen to messages. I have a private email account. I have a private Twitter. I have a private Facebook because they get rape threats, death threats, sexual harassment, disgusting fucking videos and photos sent to them on the constant. A lot of YouTube creators are the same way. They have set up fake accounts for messages to go to, and they let people know on their like that's kind of what the Patreon accounts are for now. That's a great segue, by the way. That's kind of what the Patreon accounts are for now for a lot of these people. Is it's the best way to get in contact with them that doesn't get filtered into the creepy dude showing me his dick for the 400th time thing. I get it on with the three of us get it on Facebook constantly. I never log into Messenger as Sierra because it's an immediate influx of people trying to video call me who A, aren't my friends on Facebook, and B, are not trying to talk to me about the fucking show. And like I just blocked a dude from my Sierra account because he sent me 67 messages in a row and they were all just have sex with me, have sex with me, have sex with me. Now, if you ever message me on Messenger, you'll get an automatic reply that says, "Thank you so much for the kind words. If you really wanted to show your love for me, you'd buy me something." And then it's a link to my fucking Amazon account, my Amazon wish list for Sierra. Because you know what? You want to throw your picture of your dick at me? Why don't you go buy me that brand new fucking Nintendo Switch and send it on my way for $300? I might actually respond to you.
But how would you respond at that point?
I'd probably be like, "Thanks for the Switch." Block.
I don't normally respond to them, but when I do, I often will say something along the lines of like, "Oh man, you really should go check that, like get that rash checked out," and stuff like that.
So I'm going to respond to a commenter right now. Sally said, now first off, Sally said, I know that that's a fake profile account because you've already started on this whole I'm a dude who wants to fuck you bullshit in our chat on our live feed right here. You want access to our special Facebook account? Absolutely. It's going to cost you a minimum donation of $5 a month on our Patreon account, which if you see above our heads on this stream right now, it says support us on Patreon, patreon.com/SinCityBounty. You do that for 3 months. Send me $5 a month for 3 months, and I'll add you into my super secret Facebook group. And I'll even let you, from the get-go, talk on Discord. You know why? Because I ain't got a problem kicking your bitch ass off Discord when you say you're going to give us $5, and then as soon as you get all the privileged accounts, you fucking bail on Patreon, because that shit happens a lot, too. Y'all piss me off with that shit, by the way.
Sierra's mean today. Get him.
Sorry, it's hot in here. I'm mad.
Someone took the nappy pills.
No, I finally feel good. 2 years ago, you guys remember I tore a muscle in my back and I couldn't move for like 3 months. And that ended in me dumping my boyfriend of 7 years because he refused to come out and help me, along with a bunch of other things, but that was one of them. So I've re-injured that muscle and it's been seizing up on me every now and then. And today is the first day that I've been pain-free all day long. So, you know, I feel good, which means I feel sassy, which means fuck you bitches. Support us on Patreon.
Okay, so while we're talking about, do you want to move on? Do we have anything else to say about all the sexual abuse that has been recorded this last week?
Well, let's throw one out really quick. A big name out there, Ron Jeremy. Ron Jeremy is a pretty well known individual, a porn star who had, was it 3 women came out, said in the past he had raped them, but apparently it's an ongoing thing where many others have said it, just weren't listened to. So it's not a brand new, like, huge shock.
And just so you know, the porn star I have on my list is not Ron Jeremy. It's
So
another guy who had help from his wife.
Listen, porn stars, you all have fucking access to sex and you get paid to do it. There's no reason for you to take it against somebody else's will.
Which was his attorney's defense. And that's a shitty defense.
Wait, what was his
That
defense?
he wouldn't have to rape anybody. He wouldn't have to rape anybody. He gets all the sex he wants.
Okay, yeah, no, you can't use that as a defense. What you can use it as is a reason to not rape people. Ron Jeremy, you were my porn star hero. Now I can't even watch your shit no more. Goddamn cancel.
So let's move on just a little bit, since we're only going to do this for like an hour, right? Depending on if our video freezes up or not. So one of the big stories that came out was from the UK on the 2nd of July. They are very excited over there. So for those rapists out there, you misogynists, you patriarchal fucks, don't worry, because if you do rape a woman and she cuts off your penis, if you go to the UK, they'll be able to reattach it, even if it's been off of your body for 23 plus hours, and you'll be fully functioning when they do reattach it. Yeah.
I don't want no goddamn zombie dick. I'm into a lot of weird shit, but I do not want your reanimated corpse of a fucking pecker. Y'all can keep that to your damn selves, just FYI.
The reason that it made the news is because it had taken so long to reattach it. Most penises have gotten reattached within the first few hours of dismemberment. This was it was like right under the 24-hour mark, right? He is fully functioning. He can pee through it. He's got sensation in it. So, you know, you fucking rapists out there, have heart.
I want to see the zombie penis.
No, yeah, I want to see pictures of it, but I don't want to get involved with it.
Can anybody else on their search up these zombie dicks, these reattached penises? If you want to send me a penis in my inbox, that's the penis I want to see. That's what I want.
My first suggestion would be, if you do have to have your penis reattached, make sure that they leave scars. Because one, it provides extra, what do you call?
Ribs for pleasure.
That's right. Extra ribbing. And two, if it was accidental, then that's kind of a cool story, I guess.
I would always go, like, little brother has scars all over, so we always, ever since he was little, I just always said, use Shark Attack. So if I saw a dude and his penis was tore up, patched, and scars, I would hope, like, if he's like, yeah, I survived a shark attack and they reattached my penis, like, I'd be in like Flint, like, I'd be right in there. If it was, hey, I was, raping someone and she cut my penis off, we're gonna put the X on right there.
So the reason why this man's penis, go ahead before I get into the serious part.
I was just gonna say, like, I cannot imagine pulling down someone's pants and then seeing their dick, and it. I mean, it's got to look like something from a fucking Mary Shelley fucking book, just Frankenstein dick, just all up and scarred and little stitch marks, a couple little bolts out the side, like, keep your reanimated lich dick away. No, thank you. I'll take an all natural, non-reanimated corpse dick, or not a corpse dick. I want a real dick. Live dick.
I'll take fake dick. I'm okay with that.
Oh yeah, well, I'm okay with rubber dick too.
There's a lot that surgeons can do nowadays. I feel like they can make the dick realistic. Like, I feel like the dick might not look like a Frankenstein dick.
If that shit can come out of a factory looking real as a motherfucker, I'm sure surgeons could probably do that too.
I can only hope.
Right. But the backstory on this is the guy was, let's see, he was paranoid schizophrenic and was trying to commit suicide. And that's the reason he dismembered his own penis. So we do have to know that there are other reasons besides raping a woman for having your penis dismembered. I just brought it all down.
Yeah, I guess. Well, yeah, there's more reasons than rape, but still keep your Frankenstein dick to yourself.
Yes.
Unless you want it in my inbox.
With the Nintendo.
Right, with a Nintendo Switch. Please send us a picture of your zombie dick, but only your zombie dick. Or a rubber dick that you think I might like, along with a link to it, or perhaps a receipt that you've purchased it and shipped it to me through my Amazon account. Just saying.
Hey, that would I never even thought about putting dildos on my Amazon wish list. I totally have to do that.
Make sure.
Did you ever get that?
No, I never got links from you guys, but as soon as I get them, I'll update the things. But yeah, just make sure you put it on your Alexia one and not on your personal one, because when someone's be like, "Hey, what should I get you?" to be like, "Here's my wish list from Amazon. You can get me anything off of that, and I would love it to death." Blah blah blah, and then you accidentally have like a 12-inch dick on there with like
from your mom.
Yeah. Well, my mom would totally get it, so that's how it is.
So, speaking of dicks, do you want to talk about the local drama that's been happening?
Which local drama? Because you got to narrow that shit down.
The turf stuff.
Yeah. Let's go into turf. Fuck turf.
Go ahead.
So, as many of you know, and if you don't know, surprise! Alexia and I are pagan, and we are involved with a local group here. We've been with them, both of us, for over 20 years now. And about 5 years ago, we started a partnership with, I don't know, should I call them out publicly?
Sure. They're kind of public, I guess.
So we started a relationship with a goddess temple located just outside of Las Vegas called the Temple of Sekhmet, or goddess temple dedicated to Sekhmet. I don't know. They got like 500 names. It's different. Temple of Sekhmet.
What's their temple name?
Temple of Sekhmet. Sekhmet is an Egyptian goddess, known as the mother of all. Let me underscore, bold, italicize, parenthesize, make it a header, all. So they recently changed. They have a resident priestess who stays on the grounds and takes care of everything, but there is a person, a woman who founded this whole thing and subsidizes most of it with her money. Now, she stated in the past that she wanted to get away from subsidizing it, so the last temple priestess and the incoming temple priestess were working on creating a better donation system so that they could start functioning on their own without the need for this woman's money. So the priestess retired and a new priestess took over, a priestess that we supported, by the way, that we really love to death. And we were I sat on the council of this temple because we've been with them for so long. And so we were starting this whole transition process and getting things off the ground. They had started modernizing a lot. They were very female only oriented. And in the last, like 5-10 years, they started coming around to more of an equality based system. They had some men who had started the priest training program. They had some trans people who were part of leadership, opportunity and things like that. And when the founder and subsidizer, the white woman who lives in a very expensive Italian villa in Italy, got wind of all of this, she put out a public comment that basically said that only cisgendered women who can give birth, basically, should be allowed to be leaders, especially of my temple. Even though I haven't been there in God knows how many years, I've had zero hand in the actual operation of the thing. But I'm now putting my foot down, and all the men who have gone through this program are no longer allowed to be part of leadership. We will no longer be putting men forward for leadership, and also trans people, trans women cannot be in leadership positions. They cannot lead ritual. They cannot participate in ritual. They can come as witnesses, audience members, bystanders. Yes.
So this lady who built the Sekhmet Temple and is a benefactor of it, she is the definitive definition of a TERF. TERF means, for those of you who don't know, trans exclusionary radical feminist. And we know this is because the reason we know this is because in her explanation of why women only women, which is how she put it, and she spelled women with a Y, women only women were able to be leaders. She wrote an entire supposedly academic chapter on why women only women should be leaders. I have no issue with women only, but being leaders in the temple. I do have a problem with the revocation of the men that they let through, and I have a problem with the exclusion, the trans exclusion part of TERF. Because I'm sorry, both Sierra and I, and I'm sure Toxie, believe that trans women are women.
So I wanted to add to that in her, you said academic, whatever, her fucking misogynist diatribe, because that's exactly what it was, a misogynist, patriarchal based fucking diatribe. She called trans women, she equated trans women to colonizers, and she said that trans men lessen the trials that women go through, as if some trans men had any say on whether or not I actually have problems being a female, considering I make $25,000 a year less than the man who did my job before me, who was worse at it, did half as much as I did, and would never have handled the bullshit I'm going through right now. So I just want to say, fuck TERF. TERFs are the patriarchy. TERFs are misogyny. TERFs are the fucking problem. And
she also alluded to the fact that trans men were trying to escape the patriarchy by hiding in the folds, pun intended, of women.
It's just a lot of bullshit.
I just have to tell you, so I can see us I have my phone, and I can see us on the screen, and because it's delayed, you're all talking, but Sierra's arms are going like a mile a minute down on the other screen, and it's very
distracting.
It's very interesting. That's all. It's also distracting because like I'm into the conversation. I'm like, wait, she's down there with a penis with her arms like going everywhere.
Well, if you think that's bad, I'm going to take a picture with my phone. So I have the Facebook chat up on my phone. I am broadcasting this from my computer, but I have, I'm going to take a picture and then I'll send it to you guys. I'll post it in the chat. So I have my computer, which I have the three of us on so I can see us. My computer screen is what is actually broadcasting to everyone on Facebook. I then have my tablet, which is the video feed that you are all watching. I'm using my tablet for that because it's got a better camera than I've got. And then I've got our broadcaster up on my 43-inch TV on my wall. I have 4 screens of us. And trying to consolidate the sound that I'm hearing plus the additional sound that I'm hearing plus the 4 different versions of the fucking video is a little weird for me. But I'm glad that we were finally able to do this because I fucking love you bitches and I have been missing us being able to interact together.
Oh no! I miss you guys so much too.
Holy shit. We're going to try this next week, but with Zoom. Right now we're using Google Meet. I don't have any problem with talking about that. So Google Meet's a new video conferencing software that Google put out to combat Zoom. It works okay. I think it's great. It's working well for us right now. But I do want to look at Zoom because I'm more familiar with Zoom and I know the controls a little bit better. And I think I can do some better things with whatever. But yeah. So.
How many people can we add to Google here?
As many as we want, really.
So once we get up and going, we can start to
Oh,
Have
bring
guests
people
again,
in
yeah.
and chat. Yeah, that'll be exciting.
well,
So
I can't put it in the video chat, but I'll put it up on our Facebook page. The photo I just took.
Anything is better than me just talking to myself into the camera. I will go with anything else, any other option.
I have a list of things that I was going to talk about because I was prepping for being by myself. And it'd been a couple weeks since we were talking and stuff. So I'm kind of used to it now. I know that you don't really care for it, Toxie, but you were doing well. I mean, especially reading the porn stories.
Right, that was enjoyable, but I feel like we hit the point with what's going on in the world and in the US and everything that I had to put a pause on that because I couldn't very well like have you talking about something super serious in the world, Sierra talking about something super serious in the world because like serious things are happening and need to be discussed, and then I come on and I'm like, and then she walked into the room like dripping, blah,
Well,
blah. Like I couldn't.
some people would say that self-care is necessary, and if listening to Toxie read porn would be considered self-care, then it helps you unwind from all of the seriousness that's going on in the world, right? I mean, you would join the ranks of, and I'm going totally Star Trek here, but of Patrick Stewart reading Shakespeare sonnets every single day, and LeVar Burton reading his Neil Gaiman stories and other stories that he's been doing. So you just join part of the elite list of people who are helping people unwind from the seriousness of the world.
I have a lot more porn stories to read. So, I mean, it's not put away forever. I have the rest of, the author's name was Jason Dean. I have the rest of his series and then also more that were written and sent in. So we will, we'll definitely get back to those, but.
Well, I am 100% Team Toxie. I think you should do a standalone episode outside of our regular thing, just a standalone live broadcast where you just read a fucking porn story on our channel. Like, I'm fucking down for that.
Yeah. You know what would be awesome is if you did it on our Instagram channel, since we haven't posted anything over there in like forever.
Will that get us banned though? Everybody does these Instagram lives. Maybe I'll do one right after this.
But for Bounty, please.
Yeah, of course. But will we get banned from it?
Oh, that's a thing, yeah.
Well, I mean, what's the worst that's going to happen? We try, we get banned, we come back in 30 days? I mean, it's not like we're posting all that often on there anyhow. No one will notice if we get banned for 30 days.
As long as it's just 30 days, right?
Yes, just 30 days. How long can those videos? I did a brief live on Instagram like once or twice.
Well, you know what? They haven't marked our episodes, your videos of Sin City Bounty these past couple months where you've been reading the porn, and Instagram is owned by Facebook, so maybe it'd be okay.
All right, we'll see what happens.
All right, so my chat is not updating, just FYI for you guys, so I don't know what's going on in chat.
Yeah, mine isn't either.
All right. Sorry, guys, if y'all are chatting at us, we can't see it. We're sorry.
It's probably because there's nobody in chat right now, maybe.
Really?
It shows everybody who's joined.
Yeah.
If people want to join in the chat, what would you like to see? Do you want to watch me read porn on Instagram? Do you want to add to any of the conversation we've been having? Just jump on in.
So what do you want to talk about next? Lisa says it's all good.
All right.
I have a thing really fast. We were talking before the show when Lexi and I had to converse while Sierra was setting up. And I started out with my favorite limerick, which is there once was a man from Nantucket, but I had to then disclose that I don't actually know the rest of it.
I
Right.
do.
I know it involves a bucket.
We were speculating that somewhere in there was a bucket and somewhere in there was fuck it.
You want to hear it?
Yes.
Do you know it?
Yes. There once was a man from Nantucket whose dick was so long he could suck it. He said with a grin as he wiped off his chin, if my ear were a pussy, I'd fuck it.
No.
Yes.
No. Is that really it?
Yes.
Where's the bucket come in?
You guys
No, that
have
was
to fuck it up.
conjecture. That was just conjecture. I did not know
I
it was
thought
in there.
bucket was in there too. I thought bucket and fuck it.
No. You want no,
It
you're
was
thinking
suck
of you're thinking of my fuck it bucket that's out front of my front door.
How does it? One more time. I'm
There
blown
was-
away right
Okay, you ready?
now. Ready.
There once was a man from Nantucket whose dick was so long he could suck it. He said with a grin as he wiped off his chin, if my ear were a pussy, I'd fuck it.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I love the hand signals that go with it. That's awesome.
I no clue. I absolutely no clue.
She knows a few more, by the way.
Yeah, I know at least one more dirty limerick that I can think of off the top of my head. There once was a man from Peru who fell asleep in a canoe. While dreaming of Venus, he played with his penis and woke up with a handful of goo.
Is there a book? Is there a kid's limerick book I missed? Where do you get these?
I don't know where I learned them. I honestly don't. I suspect that it was the Irish guy who was actually from Ireland that I was stationed with when I was in the army. He used to, every leprechaun joke I have came from him, just FYI.
And
So,
you know what? Love your leprechaun jokes.
yeah,
love
I
it.
at every gathering, everyone always asks me to tell them, but I feel like everyone's heard them so many times now that if they're kind of like the. Although
No, I love them every single time.
the
I've known
leprechaun nun
you
one
for-
brings the house down.
I've known you for I don't know how many years, and at least once a year you tell that joke, and I clap in glee every time.
Yeah. The leprechaun nun one is the most famous one, the most requested.
Well, did you want to tell it now?
The leprechaun nun joke? Yeah. What is this going to be? Sierra's stand-up hour? All right.
Yes.
You can't tease
So-
us with like the best joke ever.
Right. So I'm going to do my terrible Irish accent. Nobody comment on it. So one day, Father O'Malley was sitting in the rectory having a wee bit of the Sabbath wine, and he heard outside his door two wee voices arguing. Yes, you did. No, I didn't. Yes, you did. No, I didn't. Yes, you did. No, I didn't. So he goes to the door and he opens it, and there before him, Blessed Mother Mary, two leprechauns arguing back and forth. Yes, you did. No, I didn't. Yes, you did. No, I didn't. Boys, he says. Boys, settle down. Come in and have a seat, and we'll try to figure it out. Whatever it is that you're arguing over, we'll try to figure it out. So they come in. He pours each of them a little bit of the Sabbath wine just to make them holy on the inside, and he asks them, boys, what are you arguing about? And the first one says, Father O'Malley, in all your time with the church, have you ever known a leprechaun nun? And Father O'Malley, he has to think about it, and he thinks, and he's seen some very short nuns and some fat nuns and some tall nuns and some ugly nuns, and he's like, no, boys, I can't say as I've ever known a leprechaun nun. And the first leprechaun turns to the second one and he says, see, I told you, you fucked a penguin.
Every time that joke is hilarious.
That's the whole joke.
You fucked the penguin.
That is awesome.
So if you ever see me in public and you holler out, you fucked a penguin, I'll say, no, I didn't. And we'll all know what we're talking about. Everyone will think we're insane, and we can laugh and have a good time about it.
Oh, that's so great. I love it.
This has nothing to do with leprechauns or penguins, but one of the oldest jokes I remember was my father's favorite joke, where he would tell this story about, like, I went into a bar and I met this lady and I turned to her and I said, like, hey, would you like to see a nice big 8-inch penis? And she's like, sure. And he's like, fuck that. I'm not lopping 4 inches off for anyone. That's, yeah.
That's a good joke. I like that.
It's a horrible joke. Did you catch the part where I said it was my dad's joke?
Okay, but the thing is you didn't put enough like into the joke. You've got to give a joke life. Like you've got to.
I had no clue what the joke was. That was it. That was it, man. That was the whole thing.
I'm gonna work on that joke, and I'm gonna make it better.
You do it. You just make sure to give my my dad credit there.
I will. Oh, so.
I don't know about you guys. I don't want to get too serious after this. This has been fun.
This has been fun. I'm glad. So I have been reading article upon article upon article about how to do this for cheap. Because in case you all didn't know, we make like $8 a month on Patreon, which is not enough to pay for the very expensive Zoom streaming service that you have to pay for. But I am a fucking cheapskate, a bargain hunter, a dollar bin raider, and I have read there's no such thing as the dark web, but I have read every Reddit post. I have read every streaming vlog. I've had these guys download an app, and we made attempts to try to get their phones to talk to my computer over the internet. It was a debacle. But I finally came across this way to make to stream from OBS stream from Zoom or Google Meet through OBS and put it on Facebook. And we did like a really ridiculous test in our super secret private Facebook group where you got to meet my baby daddy who helped us test this system out. So if you want to do strange and awesome and amazing things like meet my son's father or watch us pick our noses while I'm desperately slamming away on the keyboard of my computer going, why is it just fucking working? Then I suggest that you donate to our Patreon account. $5 a month will get you access to our super secret Facebook group. Any level will get you access to our private Discord server. That's manned by me, so if you join the Discord, you will be talking directly to me. However, it is just supposed to be fun chat. You can suggest show things. You can bring articles to our attention. But as soon as you get weird, creepy, and sexual with it, you're fucking out and gone. Because although we talk about sex a lot and Toxie takes it in the pooper, we sure as hell don't want to be chatting with you about it all goddamn day.
Not all day. We'll talk
Not
about it
day.
on the show. No problem.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, if you get real weird and twisty about it, I'll put you on blast on this fucking show. Just letting you know. I mean, if that's your kink, if you're into that thing, I'm down for it.
Hey, we do have a level on our Patreon, and I can't think of it off the top of my head, but if you donate that much, we'll do a riff on you and your whatever, anything about you. We'll make up shit too.
We will roast the fuck out of you.
Mm-hmm.
We'll roast the fuck out of you.
Yes, we will.
I'll go all carrot top on that roast too. I'll get mad and storm out of the room.
I have a watermelon. I can Gallagher it and just slam the watermelon.
Alexia can talk about the 7 words you can't say on TV, but apparently you can say them all on TV now.
Yeah, well, at least on internet TV.
God bless you, darling.
So, I mean, I know this has been fun and this has been funny, but I don't want to get serious, but I think as social justice beings that we are, we should probably mention a couple of things. One, fucking wear your mask.
Please.
I'm going to jump in here.
Yeah. This is Toxie's thing.
For a living, I talked about, for years, I never said what I did on this show, ever. I alluded to the fact that I'm HRE, but I never really spoke about what I did until an episode or 2 ago. And I work in healthcare and I recruit nurses for a living. And what I get to do right this moment is I'm working ridiculous. My anxiety's off the chain. Like, I'm waking up at 3 a.m., checking my emails, like having a hard time going back to sleep. I I get to see the markets where things like they opened early, they had a lot of beachgoers, they, they weren't mandating masks, all these areas. I get to see all the ICU openings. And it's concerning because I know a lot of people don't believe it's real. I know, I for fun I argue with people on Facebook. In my spare time, I argue with idiots on Facebook, but it's very real. I literally get to see the opening. So if you want to sit there and say like hospitals are this, hospitals are that, like they're making up numbers, they're making up this is all a fake thing to, it'll go in November, blah, blah, blah. I am literally busting my ass to find individuals to help staff these already full ICU units. And these, I have nurses going from one crisis spot to another. It's very real, whether people want to believe it or not. It's very real. And the argument is that the death rate isn't as high rate this moment. The death is lower. But if you want to know what you're going to experience in the hospital, I have a friend right this moment in the ICU who is not there for, they're there for other reasons. And it's a horrid experience to be there and be surrounded by individuals who are struggling to breathe. So, I get the whole argument every which direction regarding the masks, but I can tell you right now that it's a very real thing. I get to see, so obviously the biggest hotspots right now, Arizona, is ridiculous. It's absolutely insane. And we're not even talking just the big, I'm seeing openings in little towns where I'm going, I've never heard of this before. And I need to Google and see even where the fuck this is. And it's in the middle of nowhere. And you're like, what is this, a town of 30? I mean, it's absolutely crazy. Texas, Florida, and California, I mean, you guys are having a rough time. So I'm done. Sorry.
So there's a meme going around right now, and it's about love and light, and if you only see evil, you'll only know evil, so focus on the positive. Anyway, the meme starts out with, yes, there's a pandemic, but 99% of the people will survive. That means 1% of the people will die. 1% of the US population is 3.2 million fucking people. You're okay with that? Yeah. You people who spread this meme around. 1% is 3.2 million people. And then today, of course, the news about the schools need to be open. And 45 is talking about withholding funds from states who don't open their schools in the fall, right? And then Birx, the medical person, Birx came on and she said something about 0.01% of kids should be okay. Now, I don't know how many U.S. school children there are, but I'm thinking there are millions. And 0.01% is probably thousands are not going to be okay. So I just want you to think about that a little bit. This is real. Wear your mask. Wear your mask. And here I brought it down again. You're going to have to tell another joke. So get another joke ready for the end of this podcast.
Sarah, I'm going to have to start talking about penises if you don't have a joke ready.
I don't have a joke ready. I do have an addition to make to this in that. So one of the things everyone seems to forget is, okay, the majority of people might survive COVID, but that does not mean you get away consequence free. Most everyone who contracts COVID ends up with lifelong issues afterwards. Their lungs become scarred. People are developing diabetes because this is not just a breathing issue. This is not just a pneumonia. This is a full body virus that attacks multiple systems. And a lot of people forget that. So you might be struggling to breathe not just in the ICU, but for the rest of your fucking life. You might contract this at 33 years old and spend the next 60 years that you're alive or whatever on full-time oxygen. It's not just about the people who die. It is also about the people who survive and can't live afterwards, cannot live a full and meaningful life. So wear your fucking mask. It's not to keep you from getting COVID. It's to keep your gross ass from giving COVID to other people. If you don't care three shits about yourself, give three shits about other people. And if you can't give three shits about other people, stay the fuck home.
So I
Do you
just
have
found
any jokes?
I just found the number. There are 56.6 million school kids in the U.S. 0.01% is 560,000 kids. Just saying. I don't know if I'm okay with that. That's 500,000 kids will die.
I'm not okay with that because my kid has asthma and he's in the high percentage of children who might be fucking contractible and might have issues for the rest of his fucking life. He plays a brass instrument which requires lung power. He's going to be in the marching band. He's planning on spending a vast majority of his adult life in music of some form or another. And if he contracts COVID, he may, his entire life and his entire plan that he's been working on for 4 years now may be completely ruined because your fucked up ass can't wear a fucking mask. Sorry, I brought it down again.
That's all right. You're prepping a joke for the end, right? Or a limerick or something. Because
Sure.
the other thing that we need to mention, and I had a whole diatribe about this, but there's a lot of people that are saying right now that, like I posted a meme the other day about the two white people who came outside their homes with their guns because the protesters were walking by their house. Do you guys remember this story?
Yeah, they're two attorneys.
Yes, two attorneys that came outside with their guns, and the meme that I posted was, just remember Tamir Rice was killed holding a toy gun, yet nothing happened to these people, right? And there was a lot of conversation underneath that post that I made. And, it was pointing out the discrepancy between what white people do and the consequences of what they do, and a fucking 12-year-old black kid who had a toy gun in a park. And I had to look up the story just to make sure I knew all the things right. He was killed before the police car even stopped. Before the police car even came to a stop, he was shot and killed. Anyway, somebody posted underneath there that memes like this only cause division, and people only you're separating the country, and it's us against them, it's black against white, and it only tears the country apart. And the only way we're going to get together is if we all are on the same page and if we all work together. Go ahead, Sierra.
Nope, I just found the limerick I'm going to tell at the end of this show.
Oh, okay. Good.
Sorry.
And then, of course, there's other people who are talking about unity and unity and unity. Sierra, a few weeks ago, during that one super serious podcast that we did, she said, you need to fucking pick a side. And I'm going to tell you, I am of the same mind, and it's either the right side or the wrong side. And it's not the side of history, it's the side of morals. Fucking morals. Either we stop killing black people for the color of their skin, or we don't. And if you are in the don't camp, then fuck you.
Fascist.
That's all I got. So Black Lives Matter. All right. I'm ready. Toxie, anything?
Are we wrapping it up with the lyric?
Unless you have something else.
Yeah, I was going to tell you all about a really bad dinner I made that very much ties into, me.
Yeah,
but it's not even that great. It's more like embarrassing, but I just thought, yeah, whatever.
part of the reason that people tune into the show is to find out what's going on in our lives. And if this is something that happened with you, then they want to know.
Okay, so I just have to share. So I made stuffed peppers. I made them in the crock pot, right? And I made these yesterday. And I thought, I'm going to do this right. Like, I used to make stuffed peppers years ago, but I literally haven't made it in years. So, by the way, I told before how I always, like, if I'm not burning it or messing it up, you know, then it's not really dinner. So anyway, I went through, like, I literally chopped garlic, I chopped onions, I seasoned galore like I was a fucking episode of Chopped. I mean, I have this all set. It was in the pot. I'm like, this is delicious. Like, it smells delicious. This is going to be amazing. So when it was done, like, I tasted, I'm like, hey, man, this is pretty good. So I dish out the first one, the first pepper, and then somebody goes, there's a sticker on your pepper. And I'm like, all right, well, that's embarrassing. I tried to eat this really great dinner, and I fucking forgot a sticker, probably more than one. I don't know. My nephew may have eaten one. I don't know. So then I'm like, well, that's embarrassing. But at least I got the embarrassment out of the way, right? I'm like, at least, you know, at least it was a little sticker there. So I decide we have this ginormous bag of cheese from Sam's Club. And I get it out of the fridge, and I just melt cheese all over everybody's peppers. And my daughter moments later comes over to me, and she's like, Mom, what's wrong with this? And she looks. I forgot to check and make sure the cheese was still good. It was not. Yet it was all over everybody's dinner.
Couldn't you like just carved off the little green spots?
Well, I tried to scrape as much cheese as I could off of everybody's, but I mean, even one was just, you know, someone sat there eating it, and I felt so bad the whole time. Like, they're troopers. Everybody around me is troopers. That's what it is. They're like, good effort. I'm gonna eat your rotten cheese dinner. So. Yeah. Anyway, it all just kind of, you know, ties in with how I managed to somehow burn everything. So the one time I didn't burn it, I fucked it up in other ways.
Foxy, your adventures in the kitchen bring me hope and joy.
I didn't cut anything off, if that helps. When I chopped stuff, like, I even used a knife, a sharp knife, and a cutting board like a big girl.
That's better than I can do. I cut myself almost every time I cook dinner. If you've ever had dinner at my house, you've had my DNA in your body.
That's good to know. Good to know. But my very first job ever was actually a salad prep in a fancy kitchen. So if nothing else, probably the only thing I can do is chop vegetables.
It's a good skill to have. Knife skills are very, very important. All right. Yeah. Are we ready to close the show?
We're ready.
Ready with your limerick.
All right. Here we go. Ready?
I'm excited.
There once was a woman named Alice who used a dynamite stick for a phallus. They found her vagina in North Carolina and her asshole at Buckingham Palace.
Is there a site for this?
I'm going to send you a link. Yeah.
Can we write dirty limericks?
Yeah, we can write dirty limericks.
Like, write our own. Like, I feel like this would be a hobby I would get into.
Yeah, write your own damn dirty lyrics. Why not?
Right. That's right. All right. I am Alexia.
Toxie.
And I'm Sierra.
And we will see you next time.
If you're brave enough.
Later, bitches.